myself, I said Messi before the game, top player. He was outshone by a team today. And me, back in Manchester City, I'm genuinely worried.
Micah's not wrong, is he? That was a huge result for Bayern Munich, but you can't ignore the fact that there are going to be absolutely huge repercussions for Barcelona. Let's go out to Guillem Balaguer, our Barcelona expert. Alex Scott, your thoughts on that, guys, and how this team now moves forward. Guillem.
Well, I think we said before the game, didn't there? There were so many questions around this team. What if they lose? What's going to happen to the manager, to Messi? But to lose in the manner, the way they did, what was that going to mean for Barcelona?
It's humiliating. It's embarrassing. You cannot just excuse anybody. And anybody means from the players who for a long while now they've been feeling that they want to do the things they've been doing it all along. All along means, was it 2014 last time they won the Champions League? 6 of the players that were in that final were here. That's not fully their fault. Obviously, they don't want to leave. They've been asking for bigger contracts and bigger contracts. Because the board has been given them, then they're still here. And because they got these big contracts by decision by the board, they are unable to bring other players that can make a difference. Nobody's been brave enough here to actually make the changes that Barcelona needed to change. And as Jamie Carragher was actually saying, you go back to the defeat against PSG, 4-0, that's 2017. And then it comes Roma, 3-0. And then it comes Liverpool, last season, 4-0. You're talking about a team that not only has been in decay this season, it's been for a while. And actually, Valverde was doing well because he was papering over the cracks. The cracks, you've seen them, 8 goals long cracks. Just, this is terrible. Now, the board of Barcelona are lucky because actually there are no fans. There are no fans right now waiting for the players and waiting for the board to tell them what they really think. But there is a bunch of season ticket holders that are preparing themselves for a vote of not confidence. Fingers crossed the fans of Barcelona think that can actually take the board away. The board keep thinking one more year until the elections and then we'll see. It's too late. One more year, it's far too much.
But then on tonight's performance, are we seeing a collective group of expensive signings rather than a true collective?
Yeah, there's no collective. But it comes from the top, of course. If you've been actually looking about these players that they got absolutely everything they wanted, that they took over the changing room, really, then what's the hope? There is absolutely no hope. And I tell you what, Quique Setién, if he doesn't say tonight, I'm off, and it's not fully his fault. As soon as he got into the changing room, there was actually not much he could do because the rod was already in. But if he doesn't say that, I don't think he's a proud man.
Yeah.
But secondly, next, I think Barcelona should announce that Pochettino is the new manager. He's available. Espanyol is in the 2nd division, his team. And try to build something, even for a year, but try to build something because this is just the worst, the worst we've seen Barcelona forever. They never lost this badly, ever.
Well, that's the thing. I'm feeling, standing here, 2 emotions. That I can't believe I've just witnessed a Bayern Munich performance, which was outstanding, but sad to see a Barcelona team like this. Put it into context for us. How big a crisis is this for Barcelona?
You're talking about the end of an era, but an end of an era, we've been talking about it for years now. And nobody has had the, I was going to say a wrong word, hasn't been brave enough to actually do something about it. And you could see it coming. But even though you could see it coming, there was nobody starting at the top thinking, well, we won, with Luis Enrique, we won everything. Well, we should just keep these people going. Nobody was brave enough to say, let's just actually bring young players that can do something new. Bayern Munich did it. Yeah. They had what? Lam, Xavi Alonso, Ribéry, Robben, they were the guys that won things for them. Well, they moved them aside and look at them now. Barcelona are saying, yeah, we've got youngsters coming through. Ansu Fati, Riqui Puig, Collado, Pedri, 17-year-old. Not enough. They just seems to be not doing it at the same transition and the same pace that Bayern did it intelligently.
When you look actually across the competition, just thinking about it, we've seen Real Madrid exit the competition. Last night, Atletico Madrid, Barcelona. Actually, is it a bigger thing to look at in Spanish football at the moment?
Thank you. But yes, it's the first time in 13 years that there are no Spanish teams in the semi-finals. Yet again, I wrote this about a year ago. You could see the end of the Spanish domination. Yeah. Why? Because financially, Spain cannot compete for the wages of some of the players that end up in Italy, where they've got about, I think, 25% taxes, but especially in the Premier League. Where are the best managers? In the Premier League. The surprising thing is that we don't have all teams in the Premier League in the semi-finals of every competition.
But is it just down to the finances, like you said? Because what I've witnessed here is all the Spanish teams being outplayed when we're talking tactics-wise, the pace of the game, high pressing, where the Spanish game now is kind of predictable.
It's predictable, it's slow, we fell asleep. By the way, it's been okay for a while. It's been very good. In fact, I think we got like 22 titles out of the last 37 or something like that.
Yeah, but I think it was Jamie Carragher yesterday. Football's evolving, and I don't feel the Spanish game has evolved with that.
Absolutely, and some of the people evolving football are Spanish, but they're not in La Liga anymore because the cloud, the financial cloud especially, is not there. It's not attractive. You actually talk to the best players and the best coaches in La Liga, and what do they want? And Roberto knows this. They just want to go to the Premier League. It's where, and it's not just the money.
Well, what happens with Messi then?
Messi's 33. You have to build a team around an idea. And Messi right now is simply, as we saw, not enough. And by the way, do you know who identified that first? Leo Messi, who's been saying all season, it's not enough. What we got is not enough. We're going to be found out. They've been found out big time.
Yeah, well, so many emotions here. I'm sure there's so many emotions back in the studio with you also, Kate.
Absolutely, Alex. Such an interesting conversation there with Guillem. Let's take you out now to Lisbon. We're going to listen to Gerard Piqué, who's given an interview post-game.
Partido horrible,
horrible result.
Nefasta, vergüenza.
An embarrassment.
No se puede competir así, no se puede ir por Europa así. Ya no es
It's not how they can play in Europe. It's not the kind of game that they can play.
Es muy duro y
It's really hard.
espero que sirva de algo. Y nada.
Doesn't know what to say.
A reflexionar todos, creo que
They have to reflect on this.
necesita cambios y
They need
no hablo ni
changes.
del entrenador ni
He's not talking
ni
about
de
the
los
trainer.
jugadores, no quiero
nor the
señalar a
players.
nadie. Creo que estructuralmente el club necesita cambios de todo tipo.
The team needs
Porque,
changes of all
porque, bueno,
types.
ya no es como te digo antes, ¿no? Ni la primera, ni la segunda, ni la tercera vez. Creo que nadie es
It's not the
imprescindible.
first, second, or
que
third time.
yo el primero me ofrezco en que si hay que venir sangre nueva,
They need new blood.
pues y cambiar esta dinámica, pues
They need to change the
soy el primero
dynamic.
en irme, en dejarlo.
He would be the first to go.
Porque creo que ahora sí hemos tocado fondo.
We've hit rock bottom.
Y nada, creo que todos tenemos que mirar y reflexionar y
I think we'll have to look at this,
internamente
reflect.
y decidir qué es lo mejor para el club, para el Barça, que es al final lo
Try and figure out what
lo
would
más
be the best for the club,
Sé
for
que es un momento
Barcelona.
complicado por lo que me estás contando. ¿Tú crees que esto se arregla con cambios drásticos, con jugadores importantes como tú que se vayan, que haya ese cambio
It's being
generacional?
asked whether
Es un
this
fin
will
de
lead
ciclo,
to
esto de
drastic
verdad,
changes,
mira.
whether players will leave the club.
Bueno, fin de ciclo yo creo que no sé cómo catalogarlo, sé que bueno, que hemos tocado fondo y que,
He just knows
que
that they've
tiene
hit
que
rock
haber
bottom.
cambios en todas las facetas, ¿no?
All he knows is that there needs to
Ya te
be
digo,
changes
no
at all
solo
levels.
jugadores, yo creo que ha llegado un punto en el cual
They've reached a
no
point
estamos yendo en el buen camino, se demuestra en los
in which
resultados, se demuestra en el campo, se demuestra
they seem to be
en que
directionless,
llevamos unos años ya, independientemente de quién es el entrenador, independientemente de los jugadores que juegan,
regardless of who the
que en
players are that
Europa
are
no
playing, of who the
competimos,
coach is.
que en la Liga nos daba, pero tampoco nos da. Entonces un club como el Barça,
Wasn't
que
working
tiene que
in the
estar
league
arriba, ganando y compitiendo, es la cruda realidad y creo que, como te digo,
Thinks
hemos
that
llegado a un punto en el cual
they've
ya no hay
reached a
más,
point
no se puede
in which
enmascarar más algo
there's nothing more.
que se ve, ¿no? que se refleja
You
en
can
el
see it.
campo y creo que lo de hoy pues
Saw it on the pitch.
es algo inaceptable para un club como
Unacceptable what we saw today from Barcelona. Gosh, goodness me, those are strong words. He said he'd be the first to go himself.
Yeah, very emotional. I can paint the picture. I was born an hour from where the stadium is. Barcelona is not a football team. It means it's a way of living. It means fighting against the centralism. It's got political connotations. You got 100,000 season ticket holders. There is no owners. This is just people, custodians, that you are elected. to make decisions for the club. And I think we've seen here one of the best footballers that the Spanish football has produced, just opening up and being very emotional, saying, we need help. As a player, he wants to be autocritical. And his line was, if a player like me has to go in order to improve, I'm prepared to do that. And I think it shows you a little bit. Guillem mentioned it. I want to touch Bundesliga. Bundesliga clubs are so dynamic. The recruitment, they are ahead of anticipating the problems. Barcelona hasn't been like that. Nobody's made strong decisions. It's reactive. Too many people are listening to what the fans want. Too many people are listening to what the players want. This is not a question of the manager. The manager today tried his best, but he couldn't just produce something that you cannot get out of it. And that's gonna have huge repercussion. The words of Gerard Piqué. Gerard Piqué is a player that you know well. He will become a president one day. That's how significant he is for a club like Barcelona. And to see a player coming out and crying out for help is sad, and it shows you how bad the job has been done for 2-3 years at that level of boardroom.
Impactful, wasn't it, to hear that kind of honesty?
Brilliant. That was the best performance from any Barcelona person tonight. It was. I mean, I said earlier on, all three of us have been players, and you know what? We haven't been at the level of those players. You know, Pete, we're talking about World Cup winners here, and the level of Barcelona is the best players in the world should play for Barcelona. They should always be there or thereabouts as the best team in Europe or the world. They should never have really a player in their team who's 33. They should maybe have one, really. Barcelona should continually bring in the best players and younger players, have, as I said, players going for the Ballon d'Or. The fact the 4 best players are still in their 30s now means they've been seriously let down. I don't want to repeat myself what I said before. To see a man like that, a World Cup winner, probably close to tears, admitting he's not good enough for Barcelona now. Now, in some ways, he's possibly not, because Barcelona deserve the best centre-back in the world or someone in the top 2. Maybe Piqué's not that now. He was that. He was the number 1. But because the players around him are so bad, he's still the best centre-back for that club, and he'll still be the best centre-back next season. Yeah, but Busquets is still the best midfield player at the club, but he's not good enough now to win the Champions League for Barcelona.
They did bring in some younger players, though. They brought in Dembele, they brought in...
That's what I'm saying, it's a shambles at the top of the club.
Coutinho,
yeah.
You know,
Griezmann.
They're on the bench. Griezmann. And that's what I mean. It's, when I see Piqué coming out, obviously it's sad to see because you can see it means so much to him. But they've spent the money, they've got the players. It seems like if a player doesn't get on with Messi, or I heard Griezmann had a lot of problems trying to fit in because Messi and Suarez were so tight. Like, they've got... When they bought Griezmann, when they bought Dembele, these were some of the best young players.
But playing for Barcelona, Roberto knows this better than me, you've got to be a certain type of player. It's not just any club you just go and sign the best players. You talk about Griezmann being a top player. He's won the World Cup with France. He was amazing at Atletico Madrid, right? Straight away, and I don't know everything about Barcelona and the system and how they play, but straight away they spend £120 million on someone who I think was 28. Not a great age to spend that type of money.
Prime.
And I know, but listen to me. They've got Messi, Suarez. Griezmann is not a left winger.
Well, Suarez. Take Suarez out the team. We talked about the older players. What, 30? Take Suarez. Okay. Suarez today was useless. In all honesty,
listen,
Messi, you can...
He didn't have a kick of the ball. He still scored one of the best goals on the night. What I'm saying is, Luis Suarez, again, like the other players, is 33 and possibly shouldn't be playing right up front for Barcelona right now. But if you've got Messi and you've got Luis Suarez and you've got £120 million to spend on an attacking player, you don't buy Griezmann.
Yeah, but that's the whole problem, though. They've gone with the tried and trusted, you know, Coutinho on loan, scoring goals. How embarrassing is that?
Exactly, because he has been brought in to replace... I played with Coutinho, an amazing player, technically fantastic, possibly hasn't got the discipline to play for Barcelona. Same as
that's what I mean. The discipline to play for Barcelona. But you're saying of years ago. You're talking about us evolving like Barcelona and not the Barcelona we know of years ago. So they have to evolve, and they've got the players to do that. The problem is they're stuck in their own ways, thinking Messi will get us out of trouble. Me, myself, before the game, Messi will get them out of trouble. But he won't. The players that they've got and they're playing, they're not good enough for where they need to be.
No, you've just said the players that they signed are good. What I'm saying is, you're talking about Barcelona need to evolve and change. And listen, football moves along and evolves. I get all that. But Barcelona It's a different club, isn't it, Roberto, where it's almost set in stone, a certain style, a certain system, a certain way of doing things. So it's not a case of just going, spending money, 400 million euros on absolutely nothing, players who don't suit the system. That comes from the top. It's not those players could go somewhere else. Griezmann would be amazing. Coutinho would be amazing.
But, Jamie,
but it's not Barca.
You just said it. Like, you got only one player today that is the modern Barcelona player, Frankie de Jong, 23 years old. All the others that they've come in, they weren't fit in what they needed. Now, for a reason, the people that they make those decisions, they let the football club down.
I know that we can and will still discuss this one at length. Let's just remind ourselves of how this Final Four is shaping up then, now that Bayern Munich have booked their place in the semi-finals. They are through to the semi-finals. They will play the winner of tomorrow's quarter-final. It's the only quarter-final remaining. Manchester City against Lyon. It could be another cracking semi-final. That one if City get through to the big teams and hot favourites for the title in this one. RB Leipzig, PSG is the other semi-final for you. Bayern Munich then into that Final Four. You've got to think that any team that puts 8 past Barcelona has to be a massive contender in this. We're going to hear from Thomas Müller in just a second. Stick with us.